Facebook world. Hello, everyone. Thank you for
Hello.
tuning in. Yes, we are here with beautiful, lovely Daria. How are
I'm
you?
great. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for asking me.
Yeah. So I just felt like, I get to talk to a lot of really wonderful, special, amazing people, and you're one of them.
Hmm.
So, we were just chatting about your experience. You came in and you had an empowerment photography session with us like last week.
Yeah,
Um, and you, it was a boudoir session.
it was.
Um, and, you just had a lot of your journey to get here was really beautiful and important, and I think poignant for a lot of people. So I just wanted to chat for a couple minutes about your experience. So I'll kick things off with one of the first things that you told me that I thought was so poignant was you said that when you saw our promo or our
Mhm.
post for the campaign, your first thought was, hell no.
Hell no. Yes, that was my first reaction was absolutely no way. Um, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm really glad you asked me to be here today to talk
Yeah.
to you about that or talk to other people about that because I think that I realized just by my reaction of hell no, it was something I needed to consider because, like everyone else, we're living in this year long of like, what the heck just happened? And I'm so comfortable being uncomfortable. Like, I'm just in my, on my couch watching Netflix a lot in between working and,
Right.
juggling kids with school and stuff like that. And I realized like how comfortable I've become not going outside of my comfort zone. And my comfort zone, has really shortened and it's gotten really, really small. And I think like everybody else, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's doing a lot of self work this year and like inner work because there's no other option here. It's either
Yeah.
that or you start, becoming a raging alcoholic. And I've tried both, but
Yeah. Right. No, you're right. You're onto something here.
yeah, I tried both, and it's easier just to do inner work. Actually, no, let me take that back. It's a lot harder to do inner work, but
Yeah.
doing the inner work made me realize that my hell no reaction was like, I better think about this again.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. What do
yeah.
you think that was for you? What was the hell no? Like where do you think that comes from for you and for a lot of women? Because here's the thing is I think that there's probably a lot of women who are going to see this and they're like, yeah, exactly. That's
Mhm.
exactly how I feel about that. And so what do you think that is?
Um, my second thought was when I actually gave it time to like resonate and kind of like digest a little bit, like why did I have this reaction of hell no? What was it, that triggered that reaction? Because
Mhm.
even though it was a spark of fear
Mhm.
that I had, it was a very human moment because it was the first moment that I felt anything, any kind of feeling. And I'm like, whoa, that scared the crap out of me. Why did that scare me? What is this human feeling I'm having right now? And let's think
Right.
about this.
Yeah.
And I think it was, my second thought was like, oh, the hell no came from I need to be thinner.
Mhm.
Uh, I need to lose weight first.
Mhm.
This will be my way to get to my goal weight. That'll be my, something that pushes me, something that like is like the end of when I do this, then
Yeah.
I'll get a boudoir, pictures.
Yeah.
Um, and I think everyone has the same reaction. Well, no, I got to lose weight first. I'm going to tone
Yeah.
up a little bit.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hear that a lot. Um, and the thought behind that theory or that idea as this, the boudoir being this catalyst to get you to a more ideal um, figure or
Mhm.
whatever. Um, the undertone, the nagging little undertone is worthiness.
Mhm.
That we will be worthy to have this experience once we look a certain way. And something that we like to talk about is we never want to diminish any goals that anyone has, because goals are deeply personal, and how we look and feel is deeply personal to us, and we have different reasons for that. And at first, I think for us, it was tempting. It was tempting to be like just flat off, like you don't need to lose any weight, which may be true, but it's undermining to that person's personal goal about how they feel about who they are and who they want to be. And so we realized that the message wasn't, you don't need to change anything about yourself. The message was that you're worthy now as you are, and you'll also be worthy then later as you meet whatever your goal is for whatever reason that is to you. And so we want for everybody to be able to celebrate themselves as they are now. And then as they meet goals, being able to celebrate that too as well.
Yeah, and I definitely feel that in the core of my being, and that's why I'm really glad you asked me about this, because I put myself in my mind at, right now I can just say to you, because I'm like learning that this is all shame based, right? So right now I am not ashamed to say that the last time I weighed myself anyway, I weighed 207 pounds. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most I've ever weighed in my life without carrying a human being and placenta and fluid and,
Yeah.
swollenness and all that. And so what I realized is there was a lot of shame for me behind that, of like, wow, I weigh as much as I weighed when I delivered my children.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me felt shameful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put myself, when I said to, the idea of doing a boudoir, I'm like, well, if I were 20 pounds lighter, I would.
Yeah.
If I were 30 pounds lighter, I would. If I were 40 pounds lighter, which I've been all of those weights, I thought, well, I'll do it then.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put myself in that mindset, and remembering how I felt 20 pounds ago, 30 pounds ago, 40 pounds ago. And I would have said the same thing in my head.
Yeah.
I would have said, no, I need to lose weight first.
Yeah. And you're hitting on something that's so important, is, again, circling back to, it's about worthiness, because worthiness doesn't have a number. Worthiness just is. Worthiness is no matter what, just no matter what. And like you were saying, and so many of us, everyone has their own shame story and their own judgment story. And it's just phenomenal that you have been able to be self-aware and to see that, and to be courageous in a way to open up to exploring and being curious about the stories that you have within yourself, and showing up and standing up for yourself in whatever way you needed to. We all have different ways that we can show up and stand up for ourselves every day. And it's so awesome hearing you talk about this, because if it's not the shame story of, if I were 25 or 30 or 40 pounds less, it's something else.
Right.
Everybody has their own shame.
Something. Yeah, it's always going to be something. And I think, I just want to thank you, because I think this scenario is what gave me the connection, or allowed this space for the connection to happen in my brain, which I'm like, oh crap, I would have never wanted to do this, because I never felt worthy of it. And it was like, if I thought about myself at, 40 pounds ago, I would have had the same thought, and I want to lose weight before I do that. 30 pounds ago, 20 pounds ago, and so on and so on. And all of that has been built on, and that mindset of like me at 150 pounds, of what I would have said to you would have been the same as I'm saying to you at 207
Right.
pounds.
Right. Yeah.
So that at 150 pounds ago was all built on shame,
Right.
shame, shame, all the way up to where I am right now. And finally, and I have to say, when we did the pictures, and David was so awesome and super professional, and I felt really comfortable. I was worried that I would feel that shame because you're, in front of someone else, another human being, and you feel vulnerable.
Right.
And I was mentally preparing myself to see the pictures and think, I'm still in that mindset, right? Or I was at that moment, like I was expecting to see the pictures and think, okay, this is what's going to get me going to my goal weight,
Yeah. Right.
seeing
Right.
myself naked in, or with very little clothing. I'm going to be like, oh, Jesus, you need to do something here. And
Right. Yeah. So that's what you thought was going to happen.
I thought that's what would happen. And I saw them and I'm like, wow, I'm beautiful. Like, what am I doing? Holy shit, I can go from here and I can let go of all that shame. I can just let it all go because it's all a story we tell ourselves, ladies. That's it.
It is. It's a story. It's a story that women have told themselves for ages. It is a story that we tell ourselves. It is a story that we can rewrite.
Yeah.
Because that's what our lives are. Our lives are stories.
Yep.
And whenever we want, we can reframe it. We can rewrite it. And that's super powerful.
Yeah.
So just to circle back real quick too. So we knew that shame factor was big for you, like leading up. What do you think for you was the shift? Like, what was the pivotal moment where you decided to let yourself have this? When you laid claim to your worthiness over the story of shame?
Honestly, it was, I'm going to be completely honest. It was making the deposit, right? Like just physically making the deposit with you.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't go back.
Right.
So in my mind, sorry, my dog's barking.
That's okay. He's like so happy about your empowerment as well.
We're both growing old together here. So yeah, I think it's almost like the idea and the concept. This is a concept that I made in my mind, and it's kind of like a story, like anything else. But I'm terrified of heights, like terrified. And I know a lot of people that, jump out of airplanes and go parachuting for the thrill of it, right? And like they feel alive. They feel like, wow, that was awesome. And so what they do is usually pay for it first, right?
Yeah.
And then they go and do it. They don't have a choice now. It's like,
yeah.
There's no backing out.
Right.
So honestly, I mean, completely honest, that's what it was. I made the deposit and I was like, there's no backing out now. And you know what? It's totally safe. Like, I'm not going to die. I was not going to die, right? There's no chance of me dying.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I mean, I think I appreciate that honesty, because it is when when there's something that puts us on the hook for the commitment, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing that we're like, well, I'm doing this.
I'm doing it.
And so, yeah, I value that. I value that. Absolutely. So you had said, you came in, you saw your photos, you expected your photos to be another catalyst.
Yes.
Because
I did.
And I just want to say, this is why everything is a practice, right? Yeah. Because it doesn't stop just because you realized that this was shame talk and it was judgment. Just because you decided to change your story doesn't mean that those old automatics don't come back.
Yeah.
They're still
always be there.
Yeah. Because it's a path that has been rutted through our brains and through our psyches. It's neuroplasticity, if you're going to get
Mhm.
down to the science of it.
Yeah.
And what we're doing when we rewrite our stories is we're practicing neuroplasticity, and we're recarving the pathways in our brains. And
Mhm.
so we don't trigger those same stories as much. But it is a practice because it comes back. It shows up here and
Mhm.
there. It's just maybe less and less and less, and better and better and better, and we're able to cope with it. And so you're sitting there and you're like, okay, this is going to be my catalyst. And then you saw it and you're like, actually, I am an effing smoking bomb here, and this is what's happening, and I'm beautiful. Um, and then, you shared something with us that was just mind blowing, which was that in some way it made you feel like anything was possible. And I don't want to put words in your mouth. There was an opening of possibility when you had this experience for yourself. What was that for you?
You know what? What also started, not only like the deposit, right? Doing that,
Mhm,
something that you said over the phone to me
mhm,
really created a shift in my mind. And it was, basically the reason why we all have that feeling that we have, especially as women, growing up, because typically, we're at this generation where like our parents, our mothers had that dialogue with themselves, and they got it from their their mothers, and so on and so on, and of not being good enough and having to be a certain size, and things like that. And um, you had said to me, what if your mother had something like this in the house when you were growing up, when she was at her heaviest weight? And I thought about how that truly would have changed the dynamic for myself, my
Yeah.
own inner dialogue, my sisters, and with eating disorders and things
Mhm.
like that, and just negative body image. So and I have three daughters, and I see it. You can't really escape it. And
Yeah.
so I thought, wow, if I could have this, and that's why I actually, I don't know if many women would do this, and that's totally okay. But after I really considered it, I asked David not to airbrush my cellulite, because I want my daughters to not only see me at my heaviest and like that I
Yeah.
look beautiful, but
Mhm.
to see that women have cellulite and it's totally okay, and
Yeah.
it doesn't make us less worthy
Yeah.
or
I
not
love it. And
attractive.
I love that you were able to come to that place. And,
Mhm.
we champion not airbrushing
Mhm.
and not changing parts of who we are, because the message becomes, um, that part of you isn't okay.
Right.
And we want to champion every piece of you, every part of you is worthy and is good. Um, but it makes me like teary eyed hearing you talk about it too, because like, yeah, it's just, and I think for a lot of women watching this is, if you go to that place where you think about what it would have meant if your mom
Mhm.
had something in their home that let you know that it was always okay to just be you, then that would be powerful for
Yeah.
every woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get kind of teary eyed
No,
thinking about
I know. It's hard to think about without
it.
knowing how powerful it is when you really
Yeah, yeah.
consider
And
it.
you did it. You did it. You
I
did the
know.
thing. You did the thing.
It was, and that
Yeah.
was just one step in the rewire. And I think
Yeah.
once you do that one little thing, that one big thing, that step,
Yeah.
um, you kind of start to surround yourself with different people, different ideas, and it all sort of,
It does.
it works for itself. It starts to create its own path along with you, just like a flow of it.
Yeah. I think you're exactly right. Because it's like, if this is possible, what else is possible? And then if this
Yeah.
is if this is the truth and the reality, that I speak into existence, then I want to surround myself with that affirming reality and that existence. And I want to keep speaking it out. So yeah, absolutely. Daria, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know it's going to be really powerful and important for a lot of people. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm giving you a hug right now.
Exactly. I don't want to go without letting people know that you're a very talented artist yourself. You make beautiful jewelry that is deeply, deeply personal. And I want for people to know where they can take a peek at that and look at that and see what you're up to. I know that you do casts of doggy noses, right?
I do. Yeah, it's all keepsake
Fingerprints.
jewelry. Yeah, mostly dog noses and paws and fingerprints and people's handwriting and things like that. But most of my work is all on Etsy. So if you went on mayabelle.etsy.com, you can see almost all of my collection.
Yeah, do me a favor, and once we hop off, this is going to be on the page, on the Facebook page. Put that link in the comments.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to. Thank you. Thanks for asking me. Thanks for including that.
Yeah, people need to know about it. They're going to want that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful work. So thank you for sharing your light and love in the world. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being awesome.
Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for saying the things that you say and sharing the things that you share, because it really is meaningful, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. My joy, my pleasure. You be well.
You too.
Facebook world, be well. Have a great day, everybody out there.
Bye-bye.